All right, say hey as we plow through this wonderful homemade series of videos and clips. All right, so let's move to our next answer to the question, what do inclusive educators, TAs, teachers do? What do they do? This is probably one of my favorite ones. The care about and for each and every student that they serve. I'll repeat that because I think it's really important. They care about and for each and every student they serve. I think it is fair to assume that all of us, faculty, TAs, so forth, we would all say, as if a reflex, that we care about our students. I make this statement, though, with some caveats, however. Number one, I have heard it said by some educators, not just at NAU, but broadly, from time to time, that their job is to teach, not to be over involved in the lives of their students. To be clear, this is a false binary. You can care deeply about your students while also maintaining boundaries that are comfortable and appropriate for you. And that holds just as much true for faculty as it does TAs. Think of caring in a way, at least this is how I do, as an ethic. Two, it is important to remember that saying when we care about just saying that we care about our students is not enough. We must demonstrate that care, express that care, so our students understand that we care. So it's very clear that we care about them as human beings and as learners. So how can we express that care for the students we serve? Number one, we can respectfully acknowledge and accept student difference. Both TAs and faculty can take steps to learn names, correctly pronounce those names, and ask about preferred pronouns. This can be done through data collection. Think of the previous clip on specific ideas on that front, whether it's a note card or a more technical idea like a Google form, or by simply taking this information seriously when it arises. Record that information to your notes, confirm that information when your students, when you have a private moment. So many students on this campus, have stories where they have shared details about their lives, corrected a faculty member or TA about a pronoun or an other identity, and that information has not been stored or cared for. And that is deeply hurtful, and it doesn't demonstrate an ethic of care when that information is not taken seriously. In the same way, you can create space for students to self-identify visible and invisible identities. You see, when a student shares an identity that may not present itself to you or others, think race, disability, religion, sexuality, and that identity is greeted with appreciation and a commitment to the safety of that student, research indicates overwhelmingly that students are more likely to have a sense of belonging and see themselves as fellow scholars amongst their peers. Whether in a small group or a whole class, the TA and faculty can honor these share outs in really simple ways. And when a share out delivers itself on your front doorstep, it's important that you not overthink it, but very simply greet it with appreciation by simply saying something like, I appreciate you sharing that. Everyone here is safe to be who they are in this space. And in that moment, when you say that and you deliver, whether you're a TA or faculty, on your commitment to supporting students with who they are, you gain instant trust. And you're improving, as research would indicate, the likelihood of academic success for all the students in your classroom. Conducting your course in a way that is what you might say identity neutral generally doesn't help a diverse student population feel safe and welcome. It's just a fact. It's also very powerful when you commit in terms of caring to building positive relationships with students in and out of class. One of the biggest mistakes faculty and TA make is having an adversarial relationship with their students. Listen, here's the fact. As a faculty member or a TA, you hold considerable power in that room. You actually hold the most power in that room. You have a level of expertise and authority that is unquestionable at a really serious level. There is no need to hold an insecure position of seeing your students as adversaries. They are collaborators with you in this learning project that you're endeavoring upon that you call teaching. So let your guard down. Whether it's circulating in class or arriving early or staying late to build a personal connection, it doesn't have to be overly deep, just a polite conversation. Research indicates that relationship building is an excellent way to foster an inclusive and equitable learning environment. For faculty members overseeing large classes, relationship building is a wonderful way to deploy a TA. If you're a TA hearing this, this is a wonderful way for you to be deployed. Think of having the TA hold separate office hours. Think of asking a TA to host a study session or office hours in the library or other student-centered spaces. If you're a TA watching this, my guess is you can come up with 1,000 other great ideas for ways that you can connect and build good relationships with students. If those ideas come to your mind, share them with your faculty partner. Remember, your students are not your opponents. They're people who want to learn for you. The overwhelming majority of the people in your classroom are there to learn from you. Whoever the teacher was that said you should never let your students see you smile until Thanksgiving probably wasn't a very inclusive educator. Just saying. Another way inclusive educators demonstrate care is by soliciting feedback, which I can tell you as a faculty member is a little nail biting because you worry that you're going to find out that you've not been as successful as you want to be. But that feedback is important in helping you be as successful as you want to be. First, TAs are a great way to mine that peer-to-peer information about what's helpful in class and what needs a little reshaping. TAs having a student perspective may also be a source of that information just based on their own experience. Faculty members, do not turn your back on the wealth of knowledge and insights that your TAs have, if you have them. But you might end up having to go directly, not end up having to, but also want to go directly to hearing from the students. There are a lot of different ways to do it, including mid-semester check-ins, episodic surveys. I personally use a Google form to gather information mid-semester. I've included a link to a whole host of ideas collected by the faculty at Bates College from institutions around the college. That link is below. So this is just, I think, 5 or 6 pages of different ways of soliciting feedback. If you'd like, I can also share a copy with you of my own personal mid-semester form if you'd like to contact me at phyli@nau.edu. I'll share with you a Google form of the one I use, only if you're interested. Finally, if you wish to gather information on a regular basis while also supporting student reflection on their learning, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, an exit ticket is a great approach. In essence, an exit ticket is a brief writing reflection offered by the student at the conclusion of the lesson. It's a great way to see who is learning, who is struggling. For TAs, this is something that you could collect daily, review, offer a synthesis of the major themes to the faculty member. For faculty working on your own, considering using an efficient approach like a Google form is also a great idea. If you email me at phyli@nau.edu, I can direct you into some ideas or direct you towards some ideas of how to do that. We've also provided a link down below to a resource on exit tickets hosted by Brown University. So check that out. Those are some interesting ideas as well. All in all, collecting feedback communicates care because, well, quite simply, it's caring. It's a nice thing to do. So not only do you gather important information on how your students are doing, you're also communicating that you value their perspective. So I know we all care, but let's take the steps to demonstrate that care as well.